About Donald Trump's executive order protecting the meaning and value of American citizenship. As we black people say, he's ending birthright citizenship and gonna deport them too.
This next order relates to the definition of birthright citizenship under the 14th Amendment of the United States.
That's a good one. Birthright. That's a big one.
What about that one? That one is likely.
Could be. We think we have good grounds, but you could be right. I mean, you'll find out. It's ridiculous. We're the only country in the world that does this with birthright, as you know.
It starts off by saying this. You're welcome to pause it and go back over it.
From eligibility for United States citizenship solely based on their race. In other words, they are acknowledging that the U.S. Supreme Court purposely misinterpreted the Constitution in 1857.
He's acknowledging that you are a citizen. That only applies to blacks. Now we can hear him explain it.
We are fighting hard to get birthright citizenship or automatic citizenship for the children of illegal aliens. That's another way. It's automatic citizenship for children of illegal aliens. That's the other term that they use, which is actually more accurate, more understandable. And it's ridiculous. We're the only country that has it, and certainly the only country that has it to that extent. And it wasn't meant, if you look, it was really meant for children of slaves. This is what happened. The children of slaves, it was not meant for everyone to come into.
What did he say? He's racist? He's the first president to tell you that the Supreme Court lied to you and told you that slaves have no rights, when actually that amendment was only for the children of slaves to have automatic citizenship. Hello, say it again. Who are the children of slaves? Whether you call yourself black, African American, Hebrew, Israelite, Indigenous Americans, all those groups were enslaved. He's telling you that you're the only people who can get automatic citizenship just from being born here. Only the children of slaves. Everyone else has to do it the other way. So what he's telling you is that African Americans are the only group not from here that have citizenship. And he's going to make that the law, recognizable by the law. I'm telling you, it's not that he a savior. I'm just telling you, ask yourself, why don't you look this stuff up for yourself? And ask yourself why every single TV station or news station knows that black people are not going to look up diddly squat. They're just going to take their word for it. You should be insulted that they know you're this stupid and easily fooled.
Wasn't meant, if you look, it was really meant for children of slaves. This
What
is
did
what
he
happened.
say?
The children of slaves, it was
He
not meant for
couldn't have
everyone
said that.
to come into our country by airplane or charging across the borders from all over the world and think they're going to become citizens. It's not meant for that. It wasn't meant for that.
Let's rewind it.
Children of illegal aliens, that's the other term that they use, which is actually more accurate, more understandable. And it's ridiculous. We're the only country that has it, and certainly the only country that has it to that extent. And it wasn't meant, if you look, it was really meant for children of slaves. This is what happened. The children of slaves, it was not meant for everyone to come into our country by airplane.
He said it was only meant for the children of slaves, not everyone. So if he hates your black ass, why would he be making it a law? Why would he have to do an executive order to clarify the law that it only applies to black people born here? Why would he do that? Black people who are children of slaves, you're the only people who have automatic citizenship. Why would his racist ass do that? Why?
It was not meant for everyone to come into our country by airplane or charging across the borders from all over the world and think they're going to become citizens. It's not meant for that. It wasn't meant for that. And hopefully at some point the courts will understand that without having to go through a whole big deal. This was meant for the children of slaves. And look at the timing of it and you'll see. And I hope judges will understand that. And it has to stop because it's really hurting our country very badly.
See,
So the timing of it, he means that other order that he signed, that we have been here for 400 years. That's what God said. When the 400-year mark is up, the tables will turn and we will be put into our rightful places. He is turning the tables. And you guys say that you believe in the Bible. I'm not saying he's an angel or God's prophet. I'm not saying any of that. But what I am saying for sure is that he is doing what the Bible says. I don't know how you think it's going to be done without it being done by a person. God uses people. And this is the orange person he is using. You don't have the right or the power to clarify your citizenship in this land. He does.
Why I constantly explain that this U.S. citizenship or birthright citizenship became an issue over time because it was never meant for anyone who the government would classify as Black, Negro, African American, or people of color, or any foreigner from a different country or state, territory, or continent who has not been forcefully placed under the jurisdiction of the government of the United States. Only a slave can be forcefully placed under the jurisdiction of a government.
Hello.
You see, the more you fuck around, the more you're gonna find out.
Listen.
DEI also, you know, they get this. Better Social Security returns than you. While Black people are, it's just ridiculous. U.S. born, illegal immigrants, and migrant immigrants. They clowning y'all in every aspect except housing. Okay? And that has changed as of this year. See, this is from 2022. Okay? And now we have the women in Chicago crying that these people are getting more housing, getting precedence on the list that they've been on for years. But you have to give everyone a fair chance, which then pushes regular citizens and especially Black American citizens back on the number scale. You have this. This is what Martin Luther King said. At the very same time that America refused to give the Negro any land, through an act of Congress, they were unfairly divvying up the land, and it did not include you, which means that it was willing to help others. At one point, it was white peasants, and now we have others from other lands that are being given an economic floor. What did he say? Through an act of Congress. This is who's talking. Congress is going to find a way to give these people money before they give it to you. And Donald Trump just told you that those people aren't even supposed to be here and that ride is over. He's undoing things that was done in the 1800s to keep you suppressed. With government money, he's talking about. Not only that, they provided county agents. Don't they have a number to call for their $4,500 to $4,700 per month? You know how hard the average American citizen has to work to earn nearly $5,000 a month? Not only that, they provided low interest rates. This was being spoke of by Martin Luther King. He was undone for it. This is the same thing that Trump is speaking of, but we're too stupid. Oh my God, they're playing word games with Black people who don't have the best vernacular or who apparently now don't even have the best cognitive skills to keep up with what's going on. And not only that, he
These
says,
people are receiving millions of dollars in federal subsidies not to farm, and they are the very people telling the Black man that he ought to lift himself by his own bootstraps to get our check.
he said we coming to get our check.
Why they eliminated Martin Luther King Jr.
Now, could it be?
The games being played
You better look into
ago,
that too. I'm not even going to get on that subject
today.
of
Florida
reparations.
still receive various forms of assistance from the U.S. government.
I'm not even going to touch on that right now. What we can touch on is that most illegal migrants in the U.S. receive government benefits that we pay for, costing, do you see that? Billions. When you couldn't get $1 and you guys are fighting for your replacements to stay here.
From the U.S. government, even if their status is illegal.
This is still
why
when they're
many people
illegal.
believe Donald Trump is focused on preventing these deceitful acts from occurring immediately. Now,
Immediately.
If this executive order eventually becomes lawful, millions of people who are residing in America right now are in trouble. And not
They
just
have made it a law to help
let's
everyone
continue.
but you.
Among the categories of individuals born in the United States and not subject to the jurisdiction thereof, the privilege of United States citizenship does not automatically extend to persons born in the United States. One, when that person's mother was unlawfully present in the United States, and the father was not a United States citizen or lawful permanent resident at the time of said person's birth. Or 2, when that person's mother's presence in the United States at the time of said person's birth was lawful but temporary, and the father was not a United States citizen or lawful permanent resident at the time of said person's birth. Now, this means that people like Barack Obama, Kamala Harris, and millions of others fall into the category of individuals who might be excluded from U.S. birthright citizenship.
Bye, Barack.
This situation has
Bye.
who consider themselves Americans.
He's rich. He has no reason to have not gone through the proper process. And how did we have a president that did not go through the proper process? When he said Obama was an African man born to whatever that man name is, he was telling the truth. He was not an American citizen. You guys are too dumb to realize that that means espionage. That means your country has been taken. Okay? That's why he has to sign all of these orders, because non-citizens have gotten your country and you are so ready to go by, what the news tells you, that this man is racist. Obama was not a citizenship. He was not a citizen. I'm sorry. And you can actually look that up for yourselves. I have. I know most of you will not. And it's just sad to see, baby. It's sad to see. And you know that the Bible says when you will tell them who they are, and they will laugh in your face and mock at you. This is how dumb God knew we would be. That people would tell us and try to help us, and we would laugh in their faces. And I'm just saying, this was actually written in the Bible, that we would be this. My people will fail for lack of knowledge. My people will perish for lack of knowledge. Boy, he know his people. We loud and wrong, just like these people want Tabitha Brown to leave Target. Don't y'all know she signed a contract? Leave it and what? Get sued and be back broke like the rest of us? And I mean, just go in there and buy her stuff. First of all, DEI benefits white women the most. Those are the highest in numbers of DEI hires. Okay? And because they're returning to the workforce in groves because of the economy and failed marriages, people can't even be housewives anymore. But DEI has like 3 other groups in front of you. You're number 4. The same number 4 your ass would have been had you get hired the regular way. White women, trans people, and migrants. They all need DEI to be included. They're all being more marginalized than the average black person applying for a job. So that scoots you right back. DEI don't have nothing to do with you. You guys hear this stuff and you that's to help us. Who said who? Said who? Said who? Come on, y'all. And it's like, I even feel like this with friends who are DV victims when you keep going back. Girl, I don't want to hear that. Get your head knocked in for all I care, because you keep going back. Knock it to Arizona. I mean, just stop calling it upsetting my day. I can imagine this is how people feel about uninformed people on the internet all the time. It's like you're campaigning to not be respected. How can a person keep returning to a situation and then expect other people to care to help them? They don't. You can go back over there in DIE if you want to, okay? Because nobody cares and you keep going back to the same thing. At this point, you're stupid and you deserve it. That's what most people will start to feel after you keep putting yourself back into a situation. No one cares because you're an idiot. We hear how he's deporting like indigenous people, Native Americans. That's because this is the same guy who got in front of these group of people. This was when he was president the last time. And he said, they don't look like Indians, meaning these people are not the real Indians. He knows who was here first. Didn't Mexico even just announced that the black people were in their place first? So you think they went right to Mexico and never came up here? Donald Trump said in front of the whole group that these people who we see looking palm-colored and Asianish He said those don't look like the Indians from back in the day. So if you notice, the further you go back, then the Indians turn into a whole nother group of people, which is your black, nappy, curly, wavy headed self. They look like you. King Kamehameha of Hawaii. That was a whole lineage. They look like you. And then they mixed and interbred out their lineage, which is what black people do. And that's how you lost every kingdom across this country, across this world rather, is you will mix yourselves out, and those children then want to be as hateful towards your group as you are towards yourself. And when they have children, they encourage them to have children by the other group of people again, and you're washed out in about 4 generations. That's why you don't know you was in Greece, England, Spain, Germany, Scotland, Ireland, North America, Fiji, Hawaii. You can't keep your penis to yourselves. And then others are worded, of course. But en masse, this is why that same book that y'all swear y'all believe in and obviously have not read, because you would know that this guy is doing something that is written in that book, but you breed yourselves out. That's what you do. And so he knows that these people are not the real Indians, hence the term $5 Indians. That's why he's trying to deport these so-called Native Americans, because they're not the real thing. It's fake news. Find you guys some information to watch, okay? Because I just want us to stop. I just want us to do better. And it's not party based. It's based on what you say you believe in. No Democrat or Republican. You're not staunch this or staunch that. You're just for what's right on whichever side. And so when he said those people are not the real Indians, this is what he means. By the original definitions of this land, that was Aboriginals, copper colored races. That's who was American. Copper colored. See that? You have the light skin copper colors in your deep copper colors. So basically, he's going back to this 1800s reference of who the original Americans are. If anything, he's putting you above white citizens, okay, by even signing this law and bringing all this stuff up. I personally feel that he and Putin are doing this major disclosure of who the black people were. Putin just told Russia that the black people there were there first, and that Yahusha himself was black. When they opened their vaults from thousands of years ago, all of the people in the Bible are quote unquote quote black people. I believe that they're doing this because they know that the time is near. And what better plan to get right with God than to let the truth out about his people? I believe they just trying to, you know how you know your parents on the way home, and so you try to hurry up and clean up, but like the house was junky and you was just gonna let it stay there, but now you know Big Papa on his way home. You trying to hurry up and clean up, and you trying to hurry up and make it right before you get there, and you know his wrath. If this is a picture from 18 something, cameras came out in the 1800s. That looks more like this. Okay? That looks more like this than it does. Well, let me just show you a few more. Okay. We also have ones with dreadlocks. This is why he's saying it doesn't apply to Native Americans. It only applies to Aboriginal Americans. Aboriginal. Ab means from. Origin. From the origin of this place, these people have been here. Not these guys. Not Native. Because you know where? You can be born in any place. Whether it's a country or a city. You didn't have to be born here. James Brown looking at. That birth citizenship thing and that 400-year thing he signed is because he knows this. He more scared of God than he is y'all, but I don't know if that's going to save him or what that means for him. I'm not saying anything towards that at all. What I'm saying is he knows this. Okay? Go somewhere and look up, you guys, some colorized pictures of the Indians in the 1800s or early 1920s. Even look at the first Cleveland Indians game. Look who they have hitting the ball. It looks just like a little quote unquote African boy. Why would they have that and saying that this, like, why would they have that at the first Cleveland Indians game to have him as such a like a mascot of sorts? Why would they have picked a black slave boy instead of just going to get one of these palm colored Asian-y Native Americans? Why would they have this kind of guy there? Why? But you don't like to be called Aboriginal or Negro when old books always explain that you are your own thing, not to be confused with ham. Why would this be the seal of America back then? Why? This is a real, look it up, which we know most copper-colored Negroes, Aboriginal Negroes, Hebrew Negroes are not going to do. But look it up. I know you effing lie. I know you effing lie. Why would Trump sign that citizenship thing saying that it only applies to the descendants of Aboriginals or slaves? Okay? Why would he sign that with his racist self? I want to give a shout out to Dane Calloway's channel, whose clips I had been using. We are not associated, but I did use his clips, and I agree with a lot of the things he says. And I think that you guys should check him out if you have not. DaneMakeYouThink.com. But please know that executive order was actually excluding everyone but you. And you're on TV complaining. And this is why some people feel like black people don't need no help. They too dumb to help. Like, this is why. And again, I'll use a woman who keeps going back constantly over and over and over and over and over again to an abusive man until he finally offs her. Who can really mourn? Like, we've mourned you a long time ago. You were a lost cause to many people a long time ago. That's why when you survive, it's so surprising and so happy. It's because you acted in a way that said you were hopeless. So let's stop being hopeless. And I'm not saying pick one side or another. What I'm saying is look stuff up before you get on TV. You know how dumb these people sound, thinking Tabitha should give up her business because of DEI when white women get hired the most through the process. And this is after she made y'all edges grow back. And this is how y'all repay her. Y'all want her to be broke, back broke, make her edges fall out from being stressed out from because she's going to be getting sued from breaking all these contracts that these black women want her to break. So that's going to leave both of y'all back bald around the edges again. This is after this lady helped y'all edges grow back. And she has recipes that, you know, women are always complaining they can't use the bathroom every day. So after she makes your edges grow back and gets you back regulated, y'all want her to quit her job when you're not quitting your job and your employer does the same thing. And you're about number 4 on the list of DEI hires. White women, trans, LGBTQ, and migrants they're more marginalized in the job force than you are, black people. Shut up, look up some stuff, and get off this internet making us look like we all just dumb and believe everything the TV say. I bet y'all took that stuff having no idea what's in it. Meanwhile, they're trying to pardon Dr. Fauci after he done offed 2 point something million people. Like, Y'all, what was in that stuff? Look up what BZT is as well. It's a chemical they put in things to make people unable to think and have cognitive skills. This what they just gave the world, made us take it so we could be dumber. Come on now. It's bigger than you think.